G'day friends, welcome to today's YouTube video. My name is James, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome if you're new. Today I'm going to be doing a video, in a series I started on Playtest Patreon 3 earlier this year, which is all bundled on Teachable if you'd like to go and join that after the fact. It's all over there now. I did a series called Finish It Friday, which in essence, I think we only did a couple of them before that got voted off the island, but we, that whole Playtest Patreon experience was video series that I might end up bringing to YouTube, or some might just exist in Playtest Patreon 3 forever, but ultimately there was a whole bunch that I felt like, yes, I would want to bring to YouTube, but this one is a Friday series because we did the content on alternate days. So there's like a Wednesday series, which I was kind of like, do I do that on a Friday? That wouldn't make any sense for my YouTube schedule. In essence, I thought, well, whatever I end up doing, I'm sure I'll just upload it and you'll just see these when you see these. But I figured that I would do a Finish It Friday video, even though, yes, I did this before without this video, like the YouTube, the 5-year Hobonichi being a part of the series. I'm so sorry for confusing you already. Literally none of this matters, but in my head it does. Yes, so we started this Finish It Friday, and in essence it was finish anything. Finish a project, finish a challenge, finish a journal spread, finish a journal altogether, finish whatever. So now I feel like this exists for me to bring my Hobonichi 5-year journal out and finish the right-hand side pages. Like I said, we've done one video of this before on YouTube where I didn't actually title it Finish It Friday. I don't think I did. If I did, then I'm just crazy all the way around. Sorry, I had a sneezing fit just before I started. I don't want to have it again. And I got an itch right in the middle of my eye here, but we're going to get through. We're going to persevere. I'm going to just slow down too. I was telling myself before I started, I just need to take a really deep breath and just hang out. But I know I'm almost finished this first one and I'm supposed to be live reacting to it, but for some reason I wanted to tell you why this video exists, and it really doesn't exist for any other reason than to sit here and chat with you and journal along with you, and to share with you one of the journals that I love the absolute most, which is, like I said, the Hobonichi 5-year journal. And I'm in my last year. I started this in 2019, it's now 2023, so that's the 5 years. There you go, all said and done, thank you. And I have space on the right-hand side pages. I want them all done. That is my goal. My goal is to finish it by the end of this year. I do not want to have it in any state of unfinished in 2024, because I just can't even bear the thought of having to come back to it when it's not the right year for it. So anyway, we're on a mission. I think I'm going through January and February in this video and just kind of finishing up the end of January and working on a lot of February, most of February. I might even have finished all of February, I'm not quite sure. The first thing I did was use this ballpoint pen, which is actually made out of the wood of the footbridge from Back Beach in Southwest Rocks that like 4 generations? Wow. I just can't really speak properly. Just 4 generations of my family have walked over to get from the caravan park to Back Beach at Southwest Rocks. Anyway, so they made a new bridge, but they took the wood from the old footbridge, and someone, like a local craftsman, made pens out of it. And we were at a breakfast once. I can't find it. Oh, here it is. We were at a breakfast, and Steve bought me this. So this has the history of my family walking all over it for 4 generations, which I love. It feels very special to have this. So anyway, I used that, and then I used some Tombow markers just to draw. It really meant nothing. I just wanted to draw a pretty face. So that's what I did. You know, I don't need much of a reason to just start drawing. This spread here, I think Steve and I went to the Valentine's night, the Sweethearts night at Disneyland. I did that little drawing from the stamp set that I made of Steve and I, and the raindrops were already up there. So I didn't really have much to put on there, but I like to fill all that space. I really do want the space to look finished, and a lot of the time there's just these weird little negative areas, little areas of negative space that I feel like I could put something in. So when it looks like it's full, that's when I say it's full. It really is just a feeling. There's no specific amount. There's not a percentage you have to hit for it to look finished or done. That's when some people say like, oh, it's just a feeling. I think, to me, there has to be an even amount of negative space everywhere. So if I've got a little bit over here and a little bit over here and a little bit over here, if it looks balanced to me, then it's done. So it doesn't have to be full, although a lot of the time I like a really full look. As long as there's not just a whopping chunk of negative space like up the top of the image, and then there's none of that anywhere else, then that's when I start to be like, I have to fill that. And that's where I get to this idea of finished from. But I mean, all of these are kind of different. I mean, they're all different pages and they all look kind of different. So I don't have any specific rules other than I want it to look finished, and that is a little bit of an intuitive feeling for me that has a lot to do with the balance of negative space. Does that sound way too analytical for this video? Probably, but I'm saying it anyway. I use that metallic gel pen and a Tombow marker. The liquid or the water content in that Tombow marker will activate anything that can be activated by water, so you can kind of blend it out and smudge it out. So it gave me that really nice blue halo. And all of those stickers, I mean, some of the things I've just done from Collage Club, but those scribbled stickers are the Pictionary drawings that Steve did for Virtual Voyage 5, a very villainous voyage. Love my alliteration. And so I put them in there because Steve and I went to Disney and they were just Disney drawings that Steve did. So sometimes there's a little bit of a connection, like a connecting theme there. It's not imperative. I don't get upset if I don't find a thread to pull through, but if I can, I do it. Sorry, we're just hanging out with my tissue. I actually had a huge sneezing fit and it looked like I was crying before I started, and I was like, maybe I should just lie and say I've just been bawling my eyes out. I'm sorry guys, I can't be here today. And I thought, why would I do that? I want to tell you what I was doing. I was very happy to do it. I was very proud of it. I want to show you. So this is a mermaid. I took images from my Collage Club. The mermaid was printed on a glossy sticker paper and the eyes were printed on a matte sticker paper, but it didn't matter because I used this tin of gouache. This is actually, oh goodness, what is it? What is this gouache? White Knights? No. No. Holbein? No. No idea. I'd have to look through my history and find where this gouache popped up. It was a gift, and I cannot for the life remember which brand it was, but it's a little dried palette of gouache that I take a white, this is art creation, oh, this is Talons, Royal Talons. I take this white tube of gouache, and anytime I want to use this gouache, I actually just put a little dab of this, a little dot, and I use this to strengthen up a lot of the opacity in the gouache, because gouache is technically like opaque watercolor, but when you dry it out, you have to use a lot of water content to reconstitute it and to liven it back up again, which by that point you've added so much water, you've kind of sheared it out. So you can either do it till you mix it up into a pasty kind of consistency, but that can be a little difficult to do in a dried out half pen. So what I do is, I mean, I don't mind sacrificing, you know, the strength of the color a little bit. I don't mind having a slightly more pastel version of a color, but a lot of the time you can mix up enough pigment in these ones specifically that when you use the white will add that kind of opaque filler base, and then the color will tint it, whatever you're actually using. And so I use it with the water brush, which even again is a lot of water content to be adding to gouache, but I just layer it and layer it and layer it, and honestly I just get really painterly with it, which is a kind of an interesting and unique thing to do with a water brush. Usually we get painterly with you know, thicker bodied, medium bodied, heavy bodied paints that give that impasto look, and we use paintbrushes because that's what we do. But for this, I don't know, I just really found my groove with it, and I've been doing it a lot with my 100-day project. I've done this before as well. I know I've done this before. I go in and out of phases with it. Especially though, water brushes. I just go in and out of water brush phases, but I really enjoyed this. And the best thing about the gouache and putting it over the top of those two different stickers, or, you know, collage pieces from Collage Club, which is available now, join below in the description if you want, shameless plug. The beauty of that is that now that I could paint over the top of it, I could kind of just recolor it in, right? But everything is now matte on top. I did go through, I don't know how that managed to go through. I rarely have problems with these pages. Like, I rarely have pilling problems. In fact, I don't think I've ever really had a pilling problem with this paper. I think it's the Tomorrow River paper. And I've never really had anything leak through like that. I don't know what happened. But now there's a matte surface from that gouache that I can work on top of. I can use my mixed media, my pencils, my pens, my markers, like anything. And it's a lot more workable. Because if I tried to just go straight over the top with that glossy label paper with a pencil, it just wouldn't work at all. Even with the markers, they just become really streaky, or sometimes the ink, because those inkjet label papers or the sticker papers, they're supposed to be absorbing the ink in a unique way that gives all that vibrancy and really takes on all the detail. And so it's not like drawing over a normal copy paper. When you take an ink brush, like a Tombow marker, it's like it's reacting to the ink, the printer paper, which wants to suck in all that ink. And so I find it's a really interesting difference. Even when you use a pen over the top of it, I feel like it captures the ink in a different way, and it gets really stuck. It's really hard to kind of get a smooth feeling across the paper. It's weird. You would think because it's glossy it would be slick, but it's not. Anyway, so I essentially mattified the whole picture and painted everything else in. I was going really loose and wild with this one. I really did not care if it looked good or not. I actually just wanted to enjoy painting. I go through these weird little phases as I'm doing something where the result is less important than the process. And I know people say that, you know, like it's the journey, not the destination. Like, girl, half the time it's the destination for me. A lot of the time it's about the destination, but I can really enjoy the process too. Whatever I'm enjoying in the moment, let me enjoy it in the moment. I can't try and trick my brain into enjoying things it's not enjoying. So I really just got taken away with the painting, and I thought, I don't care if this looks yuck or not, which I have to, you know, I say it a lot, but I do always have to repeat it because it's such a freeing way to be. And I never used to be like that. I really did care about the final piece, and I really did care that it looked really neat and that it showed a great degree of skill and learning, and I really cared to have it all look really, really good. And even though I can still feel that sometimes, and I don't think it's a bad thing, it's not inherently a bad thing, I'm really glad that I also know that balance of having times where it really just doesn't matter at all, and where it could just be about scribbling or ripping up paper or playing with stickers, stupid things that, you know, even as an adult, like I still say we can do it, but sometimes it still comes into my head, like, really, like, am I really doing sticker play at 32? Like, am I really doing that? And yes, I am. But it's okay. It's good. And I feel like it is all a part of the creative process. We're not always firing on all cylinders doing, you know, perfect illustrations and paintings and journaling every single day. Like it really just ebbs and flows. And I'm in a weird place right now, honestly. I know I'm supposed to be reacting to this. Look, here's me flipping the pages. Here's my Daisy style workshop that I'm still working on. Goodness, I really want this out by summer. I wanted it out by summer last year. I'm using one of these just to kind of color match to the paper. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm just not in a place where I'm just feeling, I'm not always feeling like I want to just dive into my art journaling for some reason. I do enjoy it, like, and I've been doing it, but it's just not as intense as I've been doing it before. I think I'm just not in a great, like, mental space right now, honestly. And yeah, I don't know. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, it doesn't really matter if, for me, like, if there's times where I'm just creating just to create, because the alternative is also, like, not doing it at all. And I know that's kind of worse than just showing up and making something bad, is just not trying at all because you don't think it's worth it. I mean, I don't really know. It's a personal thing, but I don't know. And to say, like, I'm not really in the space for it right now, it's not true. I mean, I'm obviously still doing a lot of art journaling. I just don't think I'm working at a capacity that I used to work in the past. But then when I look back in the past, I was challenging myself to a lot of things, and I was really pushing my learning curve really quickly. And so maybe I'm just in a period where I feel like I've acquired enough of what I've been trying to learn over the years that I'm actually kind of sitting in it. That could be a really interesting thing for me to think about later, because I feel like I'm rarely still. I feel like I'm rarely, like, did I even say this in this video? I told myself, like, I have to just slow down and just kind of sit in it and chat and just look at the screen and tell you what I'm doing and what I'm using. And here I am being a little bit too introspective again. But I think maybe I'm just in that period of where, like, I'm not really challenging myself to learn too much else. I'm not pushing to do things that I don't really need to do, or, you know, I'm just kind of sitting in it and just relaxing in it a little bit, which could be very bad for my bank account later. So maybe I should kick it up a notch. I don't know. We'll figure it out together. Oh, goodness. I'm itchy. Sorry. Don't know why. So this page, I just wanted to put stickers everywhere that kind of match the Japanese theme of my travel journal there, my Memory to Memento journal. And I put the stickers there after I'd colored in my little sticker that was pretty much it, which, I didn't even realize that Daisy style sticker I'd put down. Maybe subconsciously I'd already seen the photo in the bottom right corner, but that's me working on that style workshop. But I didn't notice that until after I'd colored in, and I was like, oh, look, it's right there. I didn't even know. Such a happy accident. And I used those little rub-ons because they were Japanese, all the stickers were kind of Japanese, and it tied in with my Memory to Memento workshop, which is a travel journal workshop where Stella and I went to Japan and we had a wonderful holiday, and then I vlogged it and travel journaled it. And that travel journal sits up on my shelf up there, and it's one of my most prized journals alongside my 5-year Hobonichi. I will say I think my 5-year Hobonichi is my favorite. And I don't love to have favorites out loud, but I do really, really love that travel journal. It really throws me back. Every time I open it up, I just feel like I'm swept back up in that holiday, and that's just amazing to me. That's why I love all the travel journals. But that one in particular, I really took my time on it. So here is another one of those Daisy style workshops that I made into a Cindy Lou Who for some reason. No idea why she's on my brain. I said to Steve this morning, I wish it was Christmas. I love Christmas and I want it now. I want to start my Christmas season now and then just enjoy, 6-7 months leading up into it. I could just watch a Christmas movie. It's not the same. And you know why? Probably too, because it's starting to get hotter here. And to me, the summer is Christmas because I grew up in Australia. So maybe I'm feeling like it's Christmas time now because it's starting to get a little hotter. That's an interesting thought. Not really. It's not that exhaust guy. Probably can't hear it because of the noise cancellation, but he hasn't been around. Touch wood, he hasn't been around lately. That is a little purple patch I did with some silver swirls because they were the colors of our cavalcade that we did at Disney, which I miss. I wish we were still doing it. I think a lot of my problems, honestly, in life would be solved if I was just performing. I know I keep saying this, so I won't bore you with any more detail than that. It really seems to be my only sore spot right now, which is a miracle. I mean, come on. Like, if the only thing I'm upset about is that I don't get to put on a costume and prance in front of people, like, I'm doing super well, so please don't feel sorry for me. But yeah, I literally think my life would be perfect like it was over Christmas and the New Year if I could just dance again. So I'm still putting those feelers out. The rest of this page was pretty much done, so I just filled it in with some colored pencil. Really loving those Holbein Artist colored pencils, the neons. I got sent a lovely set of those as well, so I now have the whole neon set, I believe. And then the rest of the pencils I grabbed from that pencil case that I had set up for my travel journal when we went on Disney Cruise Line. I still have not unpacked that. I've been home for over a month. I didn't even realize the other day I'd been home for over a month, and I've on the scale of achievement, I feel like I've achieved next to nothing. On the scale of achievement for things I set out to achieve, I'm pretty much like fine. Like I did everything I was kind of supposed to do. It was that workshop. I just haven't done that workshop yet. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm really like, there's nothing against me doing that workshop. I really want to do it. I have prepared it. I am so ready for it. And this is the style workshop. I just don't know. I do not want to get on the camera if I don't want to be on the camera and then record it all that way, which is a very privileged place to be in because that's not always been the case, but I need to get over myself. There's something in the way of me doing it, and I think I just need to get over myself. I feel like if I scheduled it too, that's not true because I did put it on my schedule and I chose not to do it. I can be very, what's that word, like self-sabotage? Sometimes if I have to do something, but I know that I don't really have to do it, if it's like, James, you really have to do that, but you could also live without not doing it, then I will just probably choose not to do it. Oppositional defiance disorder. There you go. I think I have that. I keep saying I think I have that, but I feel like that shouldn't be like against yourself. I feel like that's for, children who don't listen to their parents. This is me who doesn't listen to me, who knows what's best for me, but chooses not to do that. I got some real issues, don't I? Don't answer that. Send off in the comments what you think all my issues are. The next page I actually read some of what had happened on the day, and I think I was putting my Wednesday in there from Playtest Patreon 3. And then, like I said with before, the negative spaces, if there's some negative spaces around the page that just don't seem full to me, that's what I have to fill. And if they're really awkward and I don't feel like I want to put any more stickers or anything in there, I'd usually just fill them with blocks of color. Sometimes I've done it Tetris style like this. Other times I'll just color it all in, or I'll just scribble everywhere. But this is, I think because there's a grid on the paper, I feel like I should do a Tetris block. And this one, whatever squares in the background were full squares, I colored them in with that yellow marker and then just put a little orange pencil gradient on there. It means absolutely nothing except Tetris, which is a game that I do enjoy. I don't think I've played that since I was... You know what? I don't even think I could tell you. I feel like I was a child when I last played Tetris. I enjoyed Tetris. Here is a couple of photos I took from TikTok, excuse me. They were the AI filters on TikTok, and I thought, at the time, I was like, oh, these are cute. Not the photos, but like the AI. I was like, this is fun. People should do AI for art all the time. I've since completely, well, we'll have to talk in code, because what if the AI is listening to my video? It's my tinfoil hat just appearing in front of me. My gran was a big conspiracy theorist, and she did leave a bit of that with me, but I don't know. I'm on the fence about AI doing art. I have seen some great examples, like the Halle Bailey V magazine cover. That was real photography, but then also mixed in with AI backgrounds. And I was super fascinated by it. And when I first saw it, I was like, that looks like AI to me, but it looks like actual Halle Bailey. So like, did they merge the two? What did they do? And then I found out that's exactly what they did. It's so weird because right now I feel like these AI landscapes and, like the creations they come up with, there's something like specifically AI about them, AI looking, and we're not so used to it yet that we can still kind of notice it. But I feel like if it keeps going, we're going to see it as kind of relatively normal, and our eyes won't be able to discern the difference. And then I just don't know if I really want to live in I do, like I want to stay alive for a long, long time, but I'm worried to live in a world where I can't tell the difference between AI generated imagery or video or the voice. Have you heard the voice ones where they do like a pop singer's voice, like Ariana Grande, but then put a different song, and it's her singing that song, but she's never done it. It's just the AI doing it. I don't know. It feels like it's happening a little too quickly for me. Maybe that's something that could happen the generation after I'm not here anymore. Especially like at first I was like, this is so cute. It's doing like a little cubism on my face. And then I thought, well, hang on. If it's doing all the art, what am I going to do? Like, why can't the AI figure out how to do all the things that humans don't want to do and leave the art and the creativity for me, please? What if it starts just creating its own playtest Patreon and I can't keep up? Maybe that's what I should do. Playtest Patreon for AI. And it was just nothing I've actually done. It's all AI generated. I would. I don't have access to any AI software, but I would like to challenge AI to do some art journaling, or to give it some art journaling prompts, or to say like, create this in the style of Diane Reevely's Dilutions or something like that. I just think it would be really funny to see what it comes up with and what it thinks. So I'm half on the fence. If AI is going to be nice to me and it's not going to ruin my life, I'll enjoy it. If not, please, no more. This is the last page I worked on. I do remember that. And I stamped out the exact same stamp right next to it. That's from my concepts, the original concept stamp set. This is the 6x8 size. And I don't know what ones we have in stock at the moment. I know I still have a bunch of stock in my stock from my Etsy store, but there are a lot of stamp sets that are sold out. I'm currently changing manufacturers and seeing if that's going to work out. So I'm working on a new stamp set, but I won't have that released anytime soon. But just in case you're looking, I do have a lot of stock. I have some like random washi stock as well. My books, my journal from Virtual Voyage 6, Tokyo A Go-Go. It's literally a reproduction of my journal. It's not exact. It's like all the layouts are in the journal, and I did every part so you could see when it was opened. You could see the tip in and what's underneath and everything. But it's like the closest thing you could own to one of my actual journals. Unless I decide to sell them all one day, which I am considering. If things get really desperate around here and you see a big old garage sale just selling all my old journals, please get involved, because that's when things... I actually thought maybe I would do it if I ever moved to Australia, because like there's a big part of me that wonders how much that's going to cost to get those all back home. Anyway, random thoughts. But I just wanted to redo this. I wanted to do it again in a style that I'm kind of enjoying right now, and shifting up the proportions a little bit, and I just love how this one turned out. Very whimsical, very fantastical, and this just always feels like, whenever I draw something like these little fairies or these mermaids, I mean, that's just my art journaling experience to a T. I feel like I'm always coming right back to art journaling if I'm drawing a fairy or a mermaid, or I'm, sticking in my photos and writing stupid little thoughts and memories. That, to me, that is like the very, very, it's so funny, but like the fairies and the mermaid drawings, those are like the core of what I see my art journals as. Which is interesting, because I don't think that's what people think of my art journals as, but to me, they're just full of fairies and mermaids. And I think objectively, if I look at them, they're really not. But that's just what my art journals are to me. Anyway, so I did that. I scribbled watercolor over the whole thing, which I think we did in a concept stamping workshop. Maybe we even did it with this stamp, actually. I've used this stamp for years now. Sometimes it's so weird. I feel like I just designed it like a month ago. I've literally had this since maybe 2019. This is almost as old as the book, like the journal itself, which feels very old. And then I went over it with pencil. I used a mechanical pencil. I'm really into mechanical pencils right now. I feel like I only get out my Blackwing pencils when I want to really go to town with the blending stumps, or I want a really bold line, or I want to do like a full graphite piece, but I'm pretty much always starting with mechanical pencil. And the one that I keep gravitating towards, which is so bizarre because I have so many of them. Oh, I don't know where it is. Sorry. If I touch that, everything's going to topple over. But it's a really random one. I got it from an Art Snacks box. I have so many art supplies from those Art Snacks boxes. I really feel like, and I don't want to stop. I really enjoy making the content for Art Snacks, but at some point I'm like, I'm going to own every single art supply in the world if I keep getting these boxes. I think I've been doing it for almost 3 years. So anyway, I do really enjoy that. It really pushes me every month to get very creative. And it's like the nicest videos I do, I think. I enjoy these videos. Actually, I love these videos, but I don't put as much effort into the filming quality of these videos. And sometimes I wish I did, but it's just impractical. Those videos take days to put together. And I just couldn't do that. If I was a YouTuber for real, like if I actually could make money off YouTube, which is the worst it's ever been. I don't think I've given you an update, which YouTube, don't flag me for this. Spreading your information. I used to be able to pay a couple of bills with my YouTube revenue. It is 1/3 what it used to be, but I've grown in subscriber count and my views have always been like steadily bad. So I feel like it should just kind of be the same. YouTube as a content space, I think it's just earning less money these days. TikTok is super competitive, but you don't really earn a lot of money on TikTok unless you're TikTok famous. Even then, I don't think people are paying all their bills on it with TikTok revenue. I think they get sponsorships and stuff like that. Big crazy world out there that is forever changing. I enjoy TikTok for personal use. I don't want to make it a part of my business really. Although I did do a lot of art journaling TikToks on there. Sometimes that's just something fun. Oh, before I go, because I think we're getting close to the end, we have our art journal meetup at Studio Lemon next week. So next Saturday, I believe. All the information is on my Instagram or on my Facebook page in the group. So please don't forget to RSVP. If you have RSVP'd and I didn't send you the return RSVP, like the address and the information in an email, please just email me again at jameslukeburke@msn.com, because it might be lost in a trash file or something. I'm not quite sure. I do believe I've gotten around to everybody at this point, and it should be a really good time. So I'm really excited to see people there. I'm not going to go over the information again because I already said it, but yeah, that is next week. So just wanted to put that out there. And next week, I've been waiting for this moment for years. The Little Mermaid live action is coming out, and I am so excited. I feel like it was made for me. I know a lot of people feel that way, but I'm a mermaid boy. Like I've always wanted to be a mermaid. The Little Mermaid was just it for me. I mean, there's nothing I love more than mermaids and fairies. So I feel like next week's going to be a huge week for me. I'm really excited for it. Thanks for hanging out with me. I think I did take this a little easy, so I'm happy. I'm happy with this video. I'm happy that I chilled out a little bit. I hope you enjoyed seeing more of my Hobonichi 5-year. I'm just kind of flipping through to where we started just to give you a good little look-see at it, but I'll see you again next week. And until then, have a wonderful time. Bye.